that kind of was one everybody saw.
And then double overtime, in the second overtime, you guys get the ball first, can't get any points on the board. They come in, their guy who had missed the field goal hit the upright on one. Sooner or later, he's a good kicker. Sooner or later, he's going to get it between the posts, and he did.
Yeah, he did. And you know, basically, when you get to that point, you just kind of trading scores, and you know, we failed to get ours, and they got theirs.
So the Lions go down 31-28 in double overtime. I know you and the team were glad to see about 400 or 500 Southeastern fans. There was a busload of students that made the trip. The cheerleaders, everybody was having a good time, and it didn't come out right, but it was a nice crowd, and as you said, an exciting college football game.
Well, it was a good night, and our fans are really becoming travelers, and that's good. They got to learn how to do that, and I'm really proud of them, and our cheerleaders too. They did a great job.
Let's take a look at the highlights of the game against Texas State. Welcome back to the Mumme television show. I'm Tommy Carson at Cafe Louisiana in Hammond. Coach Mumme, the team's through 3 games, records 2-1. Of course, everybody want to be 3-0, but it's in the books at 2-1. Kind of, if you will, give us a report card or a grade on the team after 3 games this season compared to last season, and then this season, and how it'll lead to the rest of the 04 season.
Well, record-wise, we're the same as we were last year, but we've played a little bit tougher opponents. Obviously, beating McNeese, the number 6 team in the nation, was huge. Winning the first game against Monticello was huge. And even though we lost this past week, like we talked about in the first segment, we played Texas State a lot better on the road, long bus ride. And our players, really, when you look at this past week, they had a lot to overcome. We had to overcome the loss of our center, that's the same as losing your quarterback. You know, we played without 2 defensive starters, William Shinsky and Burt McGee. We fought a hurricane all week. We had disrupted the schedule and practice schedule and all that. And then we had to make a long trip and play a very tough, well-prepared Southland Conference team. So, you know, to take them into double overtime, have a chance to win, I think we gave great effort. So I think effort-wise, you got to give the guys an A. You know, I think execution-wise, we're probably in the B category. You know, we've had some games where the offense looked great, the defense didn't do as well, and then we had the McNeese game where nearly everything looked great. And then we had this game where the defense played great, but the offense didn't play so well. So, you know, we're kind of, if we can be a little bit more consistent playing on both sides of the ball, that'll really make us, you know, somebody that everybody's got to deal with.
It's certainly from a strength and conditioning standpoint. I mean, a lot of fans have commented about that, and you and the staff know the work that Matt Walter, the strength and conditioning coach, has done, along with the rest of the staff. These guys are in better shape than they were after 3 games last year. There's no question about that.
They are, and Matt's done a terrific job. And I told the guys, I thought this game against Texas State obviously has done a great job with theirs too. And I felt like this game was the only one where towards the end of the game we were a little bit out-physicaled. And we were a little bit out-physical through the game with their linebackers and DBs against our receivers. And but I think some of that had to do with all the distractions and the stuff that I talked about earlier. For the most part, I think Matt Walters has really done a great job of getting our guys physically ready to play.
Coach, a thing we want to tell everybody about, coming up on Friday, September the 24th at 3 o'clock, the athletic department building, the athletic building, is going to be named after the Wayne Dugas family. Their financial contribution is allowing for tremendous improvement and a new look, and that's going to be a special thing this Friday for our athletic department, for our university at 3 o'clock, and I know you're very appreciative of that.
Well, we certainly appreciate Wayne and Manuel and the whole Dugas family. They're ex-players from here. They have great love for Southeastern. They've been huge in contributions for our football program, and it's really a fitting tribute to have that building named after them. And we've done some nice things. And this is a building program. Everything we're doing seems to be something new, something we got to build, something we have to create. And we had that old building built in 1971, and I think that the remodeling of it is you've been through it. Maybe later on in the year we'll kind of show some scenes of that on this show. But they've really done a nice job of redoing our locker room, our offices, and meeting rooms, and all that kind of stuff. And we're still probably only about 2/3 of the way through the project. But it's really a tribute to the Dugas family.
This is the Hal Mumme television show. When we come back, we'll take a look at a campus feature. We'll look at the Digital Arts Center on campus at Southeastern right after this pause from Cafe Louisiana on Morrison Boulevard in Hammond on the Hal Mumme television show.
You're looking at future graphic designers, animators, and web artists. They're all training at Southeastern state-of-the-art Digital Arts Center. It's a hotbed of creativity with 64 G4s raring to go places in the digital world that most universities only dream of. Professor Gary Cowan.
I talk with a lot of people who are in this field, and none have really told me that they have anything like this. So I'm very proud of it.
It's definitely a totally different route to explore your creativity.
I wanted to do something creative, but I also wanted to have a job as well. And so using the facilities here and kind of doing that, I feel like I'll be able to do both of those things.
There's enough RAM in this room to get even George Lucas's attention. But not all the students here were computer whizzes the first day of digital art class.
I was really amazed because until I started taking these classes, I considered myself to be computer illiterate. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I made this move. I was just really in shock because it was something that was in my head and I was actually able to see it on this, large scale.
No one can accuse Southeastern's digital art students of being one-dimensional. They learn to translate their complex ideas into 3D technology. Professor John Valentino explains.
In this piece, we're working with the human form, the head, and we've abstracted it a bit, and we can view it in this program in any view. We can turn around and animate it. So what we're doing is starting from sculpture, which is thousands of years old, taking it onto the computer, which is decades old, and bringing it back into the real world once again.
Thanks to this 3D rendering tool, the image created on a computer screen becomes a wooden sculpture. Not a typical assignment, but remember, this is the place that art meets high tech, and what happens next is only limited by your imagination.
Welcome back to the Hal Mumme television show. My name is Tommy Price at Cafe Louisiana. That's where we're at each and every Monday filming the Hal Mumme television show on Morrison Boulevard across from Durham Toyota. Coach, up next for the Lions, a 6 o'clock matchup with Sam Houston State, another future Southland Conference opponent. Like the Lions, they're ranked in Don Hanson's poll. Two ranked teams will hook up at 6 o'clock in Strawberry Stadium, and they knocked off the #1 team in the nation this past Saturday over in Huntsville, Texas. They beat Montana. What can you tell us about Sam Houston State?
Well, like you said, they knocked off the #1 team in the nation. I don't think you got to say a lot more.
That says a lot.
But I'll tell you what, it's going to be a battle of two highly ranked teams, two highly ranked offenses. I think they're #1 in the nation scoring. We're probably second or third. Pass offense, we're #1. I think they're in there in the top 2 or 3. And same thing with total offense, all that. and two really good, solid defenses. You're going to see two great quarterbacks. You know, obviously, we think Martin Hankins is a great player, but Dustin Long, their senior quarterback who transferred from Texas A&M, is a really great player. They've got a couple of wide receivers, Jason Mathena and a young man named Fuller. They're real good players. And so, I just think it's going to be a good, hard-fought battle between two Southland members that are pretty good football teams.
And Coach Randleman, he's in his 22nd year there, so he's no stranger to college football. You rarely see a school that has a coach there 22 years anymore. There's not many of those in the country.
No, he's won 122 games, and he's really the dean of our conference in terms of coaches. Somebody I've known since I was a high school coach in Texas, have a lot of respect for him. He's a tremendous football coach and has done a tremendous job at Sam Houston.
And tickets are still available for Saturday night, 6 o'clock kickoff in Strawberry Stadium. Get your tickets by calling the Lion Ticket Office at 985-549-5466, or you can get all that information at lionsports.net. Coach, 5 of the next 6 weeks, the Lions will be at home on a Saturday in Strawberry Stadium. They're all 6 o'clock kickoffs. We need to get the fans out and support this football team. Get out there early, tailgate, have fun with other Lion fans. 6 o'clock kickoff gives you plenty of time to do stuff after the game. So this is a big home stand, big home stretch that's going to tell a big tale on what the Lions do for the season.
Well, it really is, Tommy, and it's a big advantage just for us to be able to play at home. And we love playing in front of our crowd, and you know, it's really, we don't really have a visitor side. We got our side. We got two home sides at our stadium, and we love everybody that comes over there and yells loud and gets into the game, and it really helps our team out if everybody's there.
And we got 2 home sides. We also got the marching band and the student group, the Maniacs, in the north end zone. So we got it covered around pretty good there. And also this Saturday, the 25th of September, the 6 o'clock kickoff, it's Take a Kid to the Game Day, an NCAA national promotion that Southeastern is participating in. If you can get your tickets by Friday afternoon, buy an adult ticket, get a discounted kid ticket. So hopefully it'll be a chance for a lot of kids to get to the football game who have never seen a college football game.
Yeah, I think it's a good promotion. It's being done, like you said, nationwide, and we're real honored to take part in it.
Again, for ticket information, go to the website, the official website of Southeastern Athletics. That's lionsports.net, or call the ticket office at 985-549-5466. When we come back, we'll put a wrap on this week's look at Southeastern Lions football with Coach Hal Mumme. I'm Tommy Kreisand. We're back after this pause on the Lions Sports Network.
When you look into your child's eyes, do you see a future? Today, there's a brighter road ahead with LA4, Louisiana's new preschool program. Children who begin school at age 4 do better in class, stay in school longer, and have a better chance for success. Give your child a jump start in life. Enroll now. Call the Department of Education toll-free at 877-453-2721. The LA4 Pre-K program, the road to Louisiana's future.
Welcome back to the Hal Mumme Television Show. As always, at Cafe Louisiana in Hammond. Coach, a little bit earlier we talked about a kind of a report card through 3 games for the team. We didn't mention any individuals. After 3 games, I know there's been some players that have maybe caught you and the rest of the staff's eye with, you know, performing a little better than maybe anticipated, and it's a positive. Talk about some of those guys.
Well, yeah, and I think we ought to start on the defensive side of the ball. You know, Burt McGee played great at safety for us, but Burt got injured against McNeese and couldn't play this past week. Kent Smith, who's a senior, came here as part of the original starting of the program, you know, basically walked on, earned a scholarship. You know, great young man, and he really has done a lot on special teams, and so he got a chance to start the game. Really played good, had 19 tackles. We had great play out of Jonathan O'Connelly at nose tackle, went down at halftime. Stephen Smith and Lawrence Dunbar and those guys stepped up and really played good in there. Ernest Wilkes stepped in for William Shinsky, and Ernest, a young guy, had a lot of tackles, and you know, basically had the big interception against McNeese when he had to play the second half against them. So,
and of course, Putt Urine, who's
Putt is
singular wireless player of the game, with that touchdown.
Putt's you know, a guy that we signed late, and really were fortunate to get him, and he's really, you know, made a difference in our defense. And I know there's some guys on the offensive line that have been playing very well. Well, we had a lot of guys back in that deal, but we also need to add some people. And Calvin Greenwood at right tackle and Jermaine Spencer, who plays both right tackle and right guard, are 2 guys that came in, joined the team this year. Jermaine was here in the spring. Calvin had to wait till the fall to come. But they're both doing a really outstanding job, playing real hard. You know, guys that I really feel like have made our team better by their presence. And then kind of a guy who played a lot for us last year and has really come on. We got a lot of competition at tight end, but Brooks Jordan, who's a senior, is a really emotional player, gets fired up and plays real hard every week. And, you know, he's had touchdown catches in all the games and is really doing a great job of blocking and getting after it. So I'm really proud of him.
And you thought Ray Perkins did the best job in the McNeese game with receiving yards and rushing yards. Yeah. He got banged up a couple of times, got right back out on the field the other night. Tough guy at tailback.
I think Ray kind of wins our Gladiator Award. He's really stepped up, and he's a captain doing a great job.
Don't forget Saturday night, the Lions are at home. 6 o'clock kickoff in Strawberry Stadium. That's your weekly look at Lions football. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Hal Mumme Television Show.